Guys.
So, the $1,000,000 question. Do you wake up in jail when season 6 starts?
Yes. Yes, I do. I do wake up in jail. Yeah. But I don't spend all season there.
Okay.
I think that's okay to say.
Tara's gone through so much. I mean, from tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. It seemed like she was finally getting there, and then it all, literally got ripped away. How hard is that to deal with where you almost literally never get to smile in a show like that? It's so emotionally draining.
Yeah, I feel like it's really, you're so invested in these characters, and I've been with her for 6 seasons now, so everything that she wants in the world, I'm so intimate with. So when I read those scripts where it's like, oh, another dream, just crushed, is kind of heartbreaking, But it's always exciting as an actor when you feel something go away, because you're like what comes in now? Like, what takes its place? How does she survive this? Does she survive this? And I think, although she doesn't smile a lot, she is a character who regroups and refocuses and isn't destroyed by these things that keep happening to her. If anything, I think she comes back stronger. Slightly traumatized, but stronger.
How conflicted is her relationship with Jackson now? Because at the end of the season, you see the torn papers on the desk as she gets arrested and Jim is sitting there. How would you characterize their relationship now? Because it almost feels like they were stuck, they were so together, they couldn't be torn apart, but everything keeps happening to tear them apart.
Yeah. I think I would define their relationship this season as sort of repressed. It's like there's all of this stuff that they're not really talking about or dealing with, and so they're very alienated from each other. It's a more impersonal season between them, because to open the can of it's just opening a Pandora's box to even begin to go there, and he is full up with the club just really falling apart, and I'm full up with trying to stay out of jail, and I'm also the main focus of my character this season, I would say, is really trying to figure out how to procure a safe future for my children. So it's kind of not about me anymore, and it's kind of not about Jax anymore, and so that has just created a lot of distance and not a lot of honesty.
She's always kind of resented the life a little bit and getting kicked out of the life a little bit. Do you think she can or will ever escape that life entirely, or is she always going to be drawn back into it?
I don't know. That's the $1,000,000 question. I think she really, really wants to figure out an exit strategy, if not even for herself anymore, but for her children. I think it's just really dawning on her that this cycle of violence does not end. That as strong as her intentions, or even Jax's intentions, are to move on from it, the cycle of a family that's really steeped in this kind of life and blood and criminality and the culture that comes with it is really not something that Jax is going to escape from. So I think she sees that and wants to have a different option for her children. Wants her children to have a different option.
Do you what Jax did to Wendy? Tara being adopted, do you think that kind of killed something in her?
I think that was really hard. I think that the revelation of that was really... And I remember having a conversation with Kurt about it, our writer, because I was like, how can Tara, how can she forgive this? Like, can she forgive this? And he was sort of less focused on that as a betrayal between them, but I think they love each other, but I think that Tara is able to pull back and see a bigger perspective, which is that much of this is beyond Jax's control because of how because of where he comes from and what he is surrounded by. But I do think I don't know that it killed something, but I think it
that makes sense.
Well, yeah, I think it broke something for me a little bit.
Good for me too.
Yeah. I mean, I think, and I think that I think, again, like Tara's relationship parallels an audience's relationship a little bit with Jax and with the club. And so, I think it was meant to.
So is there anything about your character that you added to your role yourself that was not originally scripted? And how have you made your character your own?
You mean in terms of the language or just
Your portrayal of Tara? The whole thing.
It's sort of hard to answer that question because I feel like the writers know us all so intimately, and so they end up shaping characters for us. I think, I think the fact that Tara has never fully integrated into the world of the club, I think she has, but I think that there's a piece of her that's always been like, I have to get out of this. I think that speaks a little bit to the way that I, as an actor and as a person, bring a different sort of sensibility than many of the actors on our show. Like I seem like an outsider compared to some of these guys and stuff, and so I think that's never really gone away, and there are always like little moments that we contribute all the time, in terms of inventing things. I don't know, but it's a hard thing to answer because it's a subtle shaping that happens over many years.
A bit weird when she gets violent, or do you enjoy when she beat up Miro's sister? Yeah.
Oh, right.
Sometimes she kind of kicks off.
Yeah, I find it. I've come to enjoy it a little bit. There's sort of like there's a release in there that I understand to be part of the character, and a real. She's so controlled so much of the time, and so these acts of violence are kind of like this pulling the lid off of it. Me personally, I'm not as into the girl fight as I think some people are, but I go with it, and I try to incorporate it into the character.
What about the addition of Donald Logue to the cast? I love him and the role he played. The interaction you had with him in the hospital last year was such a tense moment. He started out so friendly and turned on a dime. I know he's back this season. What is his addition in terms of being kind of the villain, at least as starting out?
He's such an amazing actor. Hi, Dayton. I think we lost him a little bit earlier than we were supposed to because he had a prior commitment. So he certainly starts out as the main adversary to the club, and he's just kind of a creepier adversary than I think we've ever had, which is an interesting element because he's playing mind games with people, and he continues, and we have some interaction at the beginning of the season. I think he's awesome. Yeah, he's great. It's exciting. All right.
Has there been any, for season 5 DVD, any deleted scenes that you really loved?
I'm sorry, say again?
Any deleted scenes that you really loved that didn't make it in the show that you hope?
In season 5?
Yeah. Or any season 5.
I'm not sure, actually. I confess I didn't watch all of the final cuts of season 5. I watched some of them, but I have a hard time. I sometimes have a hard time watching. Should I not say that? It's just that's an actor thing. That's just a weird actor thing.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.